Hi, thank you for tuning in to the Bakery Live. Today we have Bianca Jazmine as our guest, originally from South Florida, now currently based in LA. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, so to start off the interview, I usually ask guests like what their favorite cereal is. So what's your favorite cereal?
Honestly, I just discovered a cereal from Trader Joe's that I really like. It kind of reminds me of oatmeal crisp, but like the Trader Joe's version. So I love anything with like a lot of oat clusters.
Nice. Yeah, for me it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Classic.
It's just classic, sweet, a little cinnamony. But yeah, let's get right into it. So I know you're from South Florida, but I know a lot of people came to LA for different goals. But what motivated you to move to LA?
Honestly, music was the number one priority coming out here. I went to school and all that in Florida and everything. So by the time I moved, it was kind of like the post-pandemic forced restart that everyone got to have. So it was kind of like a now or never, because I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen again. But like, it's kind of feel like a worldwide shutdown is kind of a once in a lifetime experience and a hard reset. So I kind of wanted to step back in at the right spot.
Nice. So you moved to LA like during COVID times?
I would say like just after it was like really bad. It was like last year. So I would say I kind of came in like just as things were smoothing out.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I also know that you performed at a couple of radio shows. It's not your first time, 94.3 at the Florida, 94.3 FM at Florida. And what are some of your greatest memories, like performing at the Kelly Clarkson show or, on the radio station?
Yeah, I think, Kelly Clarkson is absolutely just
she's amazing.
She's so sweet. I absolutely love her. But one really fond memory I do have was I did a live, I had a full band at the time, performance on 94.3. And it's like a radio station based out of Miami. And it was like a family member's birthday that day. And she had like really wanted to hear like a Latin version of one of my songs, because we're Cuban. And so I kind of surprised her with like a Latin jazz version of one of my songs at the end, and sung happy birthday to her on the radio, which I think was like really, really cool for her. That was just such a wholesome like family moment that we got to have. So that I would say it's probably like my most fondest memory relating to that.
That's awesome. Like, what do you think is the difference between performing at a radio station and performing live? I feel like definitely there's this aspect of the audience is, you can't really see the audience, but which one do you enjoy, or both?
Yeah, I mean, they're both like very unique experiences. I do think like live performance at a venue does carry like a different caliber of energy, because it's like you're feeding off of the people in the room, and I feel like music, it really functions at its best when people are circulating that energy with each other. So when you feel that in a room, it does like really hit different as an artist, because not only are you just giving out what you came in with, but you're also absorbing that energy back from the audience and feeding that back out to them as well. So it just becomes a very like positive cycle,
Yeah, and I will say you do have this soothing, unique, like powerful voice. And one of your songs, Pain's Got a Rhythm, you said, I played the supporting role and forgot it was my own show. And I was just wondering, can you add on to that? What made you wrote those lyrics?
Yeah, I feel like in my life I've always kind of something that I guess I'm expressing, I don't want to say frustration about, but just like coming to terms with like needing to make certain changes within myself. And I felt like a lot of times I wasn't always focusing on myself and my needs and what I needed in my own life. And at the end of the day, like everyone is the star of their own personal life movie, and when you're not focusing on giving yourself that time and energy that you need, things might not play out the way you want them, might not feel as fulfilled. And so it's kind of a line in the song where I'm really unpacking that a little bit and realizing I need to kind of take a little bit more leadership within my own life. And if there's something I'm not happy about, it's up to me to make those changes, just taking accountability for yourself in your own life.
Yeah, most definitely. Like figuring out your own self definitely comes from inspiration from others. Like, do you have any musical inspiration growing up as a kid?
Yeah, I would say I've listened to so many different types of music. I mean, from salsa to like opera to metal.
Nice.
I mean, like literally everything under the sun. I would say like one of like the bands that I like latched onto pretty early on was like the Beatles. I mean, it's not a very original choice, but a very classic choice. I remember I spent like one summer just listening. I hope I don't get busted for this, but illegally downloaded their entire discography, and I this is like when I was a teenager, so a little bit older, because when I was a kid I listened to like the classics and stuff like that, but as I got older and started like writing music, I really just spent an entire summer like just digesting their entire discography, from every little weird like 1 minute long interlude to like the classics that everyone knows. So that was probably one of the first like bands I really like stuck onto.
Yeah, no, the Beatles are great. I mean, their new documentary on Disney Plus was insane, like just seeing how their songwriting processes and how they got to where they are today is just pretty impressive.
It's been a pretty, seems like it's been a pretty crazy ride for them.
Yeah, no, I mean, also congratulations. I also know that you got the Oscar Award in 2018 for Songwriter of the Year.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
And what sort of preparation and what songs led you to, you know, that award? Because I know it's like a big award, and what preparation or songs led you to where you are
Yeah,
then?
that was after I released my original EP, Hero Voices, and in that EP I think like lyrically I was really like it was like kind of like a coming of age, you know, time period in my life where I was maturing. I was kind of opening my wings up a little bit, and you know, really going through all the pains of that and kind of documenting it all musically. And so I feel like maybe that was kind of one thing that, you know, they really connected with over with them. But they were an awesome group of people to work with. They had a whole show and everything with different performers. That was a super awesome experience. I'm very grateful for that one.
That's awesome. Yeah. Talking about growing up, I know that you play ukulele and guitar on your Instagram videos. But what do you remember the first instrument you played?
Ironically, my first instrument was actually the harp.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's hard.
It was actually like a program in our school. I was in kindergarten, and they had like our music program was like super awesome, and they brought in this like little baby-sized harp, and I kind of learned like, you know, like little songs. My older sister was in the program too, and she actually learned like really cool stuff. I learned stuff that was like appropriate for a 5-year-old, but but it was still like a really awesome first crack at learning anything musically. Yeah.
And I know, like, you know, talking about the first song, instrument, but do you remember writing your first song?
Oh, yeah. I would say I probably started writing first on the piano. I also played ukulele. I started picking up the ukulele around the time I started songwriting because I found it to be, like, a very easy and, like, transportation-friendly tool for, you know, songwriting on the go. Yeah. It's much easier than, like, an 88-key, you know, keyboard to lug around everywhere. But I did feel like the piano was always kind of like what drew me to songwriting the most, and then once I kind of laid down the basics of everything, then I would kind of go and take it and, you know, turn it into a full band or, you know, produce it just on the computer, kind of go from there.
I totally agree. I feel like ukulele is just so easy to carry around. I mean, that's one of the first instruments I learned. I started with drums, but obviously like when you move from one place to the other, it's really hard to bring a whole drum kit with you. So guitar led to ukulele led to guitar, and then there we have it. Yeah. And I also know, like, in your band, Bobby, who I met at the show last time, with Breaking Sounds, and how'd you guys meet?
Yeah, we were just both in the music scene locally, and I think I loved his sound and everything, so I wanted to start collaborating with him. But yeah, it's been a pleasure working with him so far. He's awesome. Yeah,
and if this booth is a messaging phone booth, what message would you want to leave to the world?
Ooh, that's a good one. I just feel like I have like a whole queue of those in my brain. Let me pick one. I've been thinking a lot about, like, lately, there's been this thing that's been on my mind where it's like, you can go through so many different things, right? And like life can throw so many different things at you, but it's really about like taking what's given to you and processing it first and then reacting, where I feel like a lot of the times we just react immediately to what's going on, and that's when like our like ooga booga id, like, you know, basic part of our brain comes forward usually first there. But sometimes just like taking a pause sounds so simple, but like really goes such a long way to just like stop, digest, think, realize there's maybe something more to this than like the feelings that I'm catching on to first, and just learning how to reframe situations to go from being like a very negative mindset to a very positive mindset, I think is like an extremely powerful tool for like building resilience and
most
all
definitely
the different crazy turns.
And I think during this quarantine, a lot of people took a step back to realize like what they want to do with life, like what makes them happy. I mean, you're stuck in this room and you have so little to do, and how you can make the most out of it. Yeah. And thank you for that message, and thank you so much for coming in to the station and
Of course.
sitting down with us.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you so
me.
much.
It's been such an amazing experience.